අද්විතීය 200 Mbps ස්පීඩ් එකකින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ වේගවත්ම සහ පුළුල්තම හෝම් බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් සම්බන්ධතාවය වන SLT Mobitel දේශීය ෆයිබර් බලවේගය ඔබත් අදම අත්විඳින්න.
හරිම සුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9, this Sunday the 3rd of September 2023. Energy supplies. New fuel retailer, China's Sinopec to commence island-wide fuel supply in the next 3 weeks. Expresses interest to commence refinery operations. Energy supply. Domestic LP gas prices likely to increase tomorrow, says Litro Chairman Muditha Piris. Macroeconomic stress. Former Central Bank Governor Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy highlights reasons for regression of Sri Lanka's socio-economic indicators. Dollar inflows. Sri Lanka records over 900,000 tourist arrivals in the first 8 months of this year. Around 137,000 arrivals in August.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දිනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
Rhino Cement Roofing Sheets. Hondama Millata Kal Pavatina Baharayak.
This is AdaDerana First at 9 with Indivadi Amuata. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
And a warm welcome to this Sunday's edition of First at 9, your primetime English news service. And I take you straight to your top story making news tonight. Owing to active patterns of southwest monsoon conditions over Sri Lanka, the prevailing rainy weather patterns in the southwestern part of the island is expected to continue further affecting several districts, including Colombo, Kalutara and Galle. The Anuradhapura area, which was previously affected by prolonged droughts, also received low levels of rainfall today. Meanwhile, the Met Department forecasts prevailing rainfall and strong winds to diminish towards the second week of this month.
Several areas in the island, including Colombo, continue to experience heavy rainfall. Many roads in Colombo were inundated as a result of the heavy downpour. Meanwhile, lowlands and byroads in several areas, including Valampitiya, Megoda, Kolonnawa, Sedavatta and Kotikavatta, were inundated owing to heavy rains.
ආරට ඔක්කොම හොදගෙන අවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ නේ.
Traffic on all Kadmawatha in Peta was restricted to one lane as a massive tree collapsed in front of the Fort railway station. The Fire Service Department of the Colombo Municipal Council, together with Defence Services, took necessary measures to remove the tree. In this backdrop, the Met Department issued an amber advisory for heavy rains to Western and Sabaragamu provinces and the districts of Galle, Matara and Noor area. The Met Department forecasts the prevailing weather conditions over southwestern parts of the island to continue further. The Amber Advisory further highlighted that heavy showers exceeding 100 mm are likely at certain areas in the Western and Sabaragamu provinces as well as in the Galle, Matara and Noor area districts.
In the last 24 hours ending at 8:30 am today, the southwestern parts of the country, including Western Sabaragamu and southern provinces, experienced higher rainfall. The highest recorded rainfall was 90.9 mm at Colombo Fort. Conversely, the north central, northern, eastern and Ua provinces did not receive significant rainfall and are unlikely to do so in the coming days. Tonight and into tomorrow morning, heavy showers are expected in the southwestern parts of the island, particularly Western and Sabaragamu provinces and in Galle, Matara and Nooreli districts. Shower conditions are expected to continue over the southwestern parts of the island tomorrow as well. However, the rainfall amounts are anticipated to be lower compared to the past few days. Tomorrow, showers or thunder showers are likely at times in the western Sabaragamu, southern, central and northwestern provinces. Some areas in western and Sabaragamu provinces as well as the Galle and Matara districts may experience fairly heavy showers exceeding 50 mm. Expect fairly strong winds averaging 40 to 45 km per hour at times in the western slopes of the central hills, western, northern, northwestern and north central provinces. These rainy and windy conditions are expected to diminish from September 7th onwards.
In the Navalapiti area, meanwhile, an individual was reported dead after a mound of earth collapsed onto a 62-year-old. Taking the prevailing weather into consideration, the National Building Research Organisation issued early landslide warnings to several areas in the country. Accordingly, a level 2 amber warning was issued to the areas of Bulat Sinhala and Ingiriya in the Galle district, Warakapol area in K Galle district, and Ratnapura, Ahaliyagoda and Kurvita areas in the Ratnapura district. Further, level 1 yellow warnings were issued to several areas in the Galle, Kalutara, K Galle and Ratnapura districts. As rainfall in the Matara district intensified, the district's disaster management unit, together with the irrigation department, had to take measures to broaden estuaries of the rivers Nilvala and Polvatamodara. Meanwhile, areas in Anuradhapura that were suffering from severe drought conditions too received low levels of rainfall since morning.
The Sri Lankan operating entity of China's Sinopec Group, Sinopec Energy Lanka, which is the new entrant brought into the local fuel retail duopoly, assures to begin island-wide retail refueling services by the end of September. The assurances were given by Sinopec officials during a meeting with Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara. Sinopec refinery officials meanwhile assured their commitment to establish a new refinery in Hambantota.
A meeting between officials of Chinese fuel retailer Sinopec and Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara was held recently at the Power and Energy Ministry. Discussions were held on the progress of retail operations, signing of agreements with dealerships and branding and island-wide operations. Sinopec Lanka assured that island-wide operations will begin by the end of this month. Sinopec commenced retail fuel operations in Sri Lanka on Wednesday with the establishment of their first refueling station in Mattegoda. Sinopec's entry to Sri Lanka brought to an end the 2-decade-long duopoly in the Sri Lankan retail fuel market between state-owned Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and Indian Oil Corporation subsidiary Lanka IOC. This follows a 2022 government decision to liberalize the country's retail fuel market after the debilitating fuel crisis. Under the agreement signed with Sri Lanka's Power and Energy Ministry, China's Sinopec will go on to open 149 more refueling stations at refueling stations owned by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation. During the meeting with the Power and Energy Minister, officials of Sinopec Refinery assured their commitment to establish a new refinery in Hambantota. Request for proposal will be submitted before the deadline next week.
Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says the QR-based fuel ration system, which was abolished on Friday, will be retained for future use where necessary for data collection and analysis. The system was introduced last year as a mechanism to distribute the limited fuel reserves available in the country. Now, the National Fuel Pass system was upgraded gradually, and the fuel quota granted to vehicles based on the QR system was increased with the fuel bought to Sri Lanka under the Indian credit line and more fuel secured as foreign reserves improve in the country. The subject minister said the system was also a platform to collect actual data and analyze market trends to make policy decisions. Taking to X, the minister said by September, 6.5 million customers and vehicles were registered and over 350 million transactions had been made. The system was abolished from the 1st of September as pricing formulas per policy decisions and new market players have lessened the financial burden on the ministry. However, the minister went on to say that the QR system will be retained to be implemented in future with advanced technology upgrades for data collection and analysis purposes. State-run domestic LP gas supplier Gas Lanka announced a possible upward revision of prices with effect from midnight tomorrow as a result of a global market price hike. Although LP gas prices were not revised last month, the chairman of Gas emphasized that there will be a significant increase in gas prices this month.
Amidst the price hike in the global market, Gas Lanka announced that prices of its LP gas cylinders are likely to be increased during the upcoming price revision. The company stated that there will be a significant increase in domestic gas prices owing to high prices in the global market. Chairman of Litro, Mudita Piri, said that the new price revision based on the pricing formula will be effective midnight tomorrow. Although a gas price revision was expected last month, reflecting a global surge in prices, the state supplier said it decided not to revise prices for the month of August. Addressing the media last month, Litro chairman further said that the company was able to pass the benefit of purchasing 8,000 tons of LP gas at low market price at the time. Gas Lanka previously announced 4 consecutive price reductions this year, and at present, the 12.5 kilogram cylinder of gas is sold at market value of 2,982 rupees, while the 5 kilogram cylinder is sold at 1,198 rupees. The 2.3 kilogram gas cylinder meanwhile has a retail value of 561 rupees.
As per a decision of the National Transport Commission, bus fares were increased with effect from today. Accordingly, bus fares were increased by 4.01%. This comes into effect as a result of the recent fuel price hike. However, the minimum fare will remain unchanged. The National Transport Commission previously said expressway bus fares will also be increased with the bus fare revision. Moving on to some political news. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa-led Samagi Jana Balawegaya says the party is in the process of uniting all opposition political parties to contest the presidential election next year as a strong alliance. In the meantime, the United National Party called for a powerful alliance to be formed with Ranil Wickremesinghe to lead the country towards prosperity. But the JVP-led National People's Power says its leader Anurakumara Dissanayake will be the only common candidate equipped to defeat Ranil Wickremesinghe at a forthcoming election.
ආණ්ඩුව කියනවා අපි දැන් මේකෙන් ගොඩ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. නමුත් ඉන්ධනයි බඩු මිලයි සියල්ල වැඩි කරනවා. ඉතින් අපි ආණ්ඩුවට අපි විරෝධය ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. ජනතාව තව තවත් අමාරුවේ දාන්න, පීඩනය වැඩි කරන්න, ඉන්ධන මිල වැඩි කරාට විරුද්ධත්වය ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
දැන් මේ දවස්වල ඩීසල් පෙට්‍රල් වැඩි. රුසියාවයි යුක්‍රේනයේ ප්‍රශ්න නිසා මෙහි නෙමෙයි ඩුබායි වල ගත්තත් විශාල වශයෙන් වැඩි වෙනවා. හැබැයි මිල සූත්‍රයවල ඕක වැඩි අඩු වෙනවා. හැබැයි අපි ගොඩක් පසුගාමී ජාතියක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙන මේ දේශපාලඥයන්ගේ වැරදි තීන්දුව තියෙන නිසා. එන අවුරුද්ද වෙද්දී ආපහු ජනාධිපතිවරණයක් ඇවිල්ලා රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වයේ යටතේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ ප්‍රමුඛ බලවත් සන්ධානයක් අපිට ගහගන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපි බලවත් ජාතියක් බවට පත් කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
මෙතන ඉඳලා හරියටම අවුරුද්දක් ඇතුළත ජනාධිපතිවරණය එනවා. මේ වෙනකොටත් සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වයෙන් විපක්ෂයේ සියලු කණ්ඩායම් ඒකරාශී කිරීමේ ව්‍යාපාරයක් අපි ආරම්භ කළා තිබෙනවා. ආණ්ඩුව පාර්ශවයෙන් නියෝජනය කරන කණ්ඩායම් ඒත් එක්ක විපක්ෂයේ වාඩි වෙලා ඉන්න කණ්ඩායමුත් සාකච්ඡා අපි ආරම්භ කළා තිබෙනවා.
ඉතින් අපි කියන්නේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ පරද්දන්න පොදු අපේක්ෂකයෙක් ඕන කියලා කවුරු හිතනවා නම් අපි කියනවා දැන් එයා ඉන්නවා. එයා වෙන කවුරුත් නෙවෙයි ඒ තමයි ජාතික ජනබලවේගයේ නායක අනුරසානක.
අපි 2024 වර්ෂයේ ජනාධිපතිවරණයක් ආවත් පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණයක් ආවත් එන ඕනම මැතිවරණයකට ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොදු ජන පෙරමුණ ලෑස්ති මේ අභියෝගය බාර ගන්න.
අපි ඉදිරි මැතිවරණයේදී උත්සාහ කරන්න ඕනේ මේ රට ඕන වෙලාවක පාර්සල් කරලා විකුණන්න සූදානම් වෙලා ඉන්න වර්තමාන ජනාධිපතිවරයාගේ පාලනය වෙනස් කළ යුතුයි. අපි විශ්වාස කරන ආර්ථික ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් වෙනවා. අපි විශ්වාස කරන සංවර්ධන වැඩපිළිවෙලක් තිබෙනවා. අපි සංවර්ධන වැඩපිළිවෙලට එකතු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. විපක්ෂයේ පුළුල් සන්දානයක් හදන්නට උත්සාහ කරනවා. කවුරු හරි සමග එකතු වෙනවා නම් එකතු වෙන්නේ පුද්ගල දිහා බලන්න නෙවෙයි. අපි එකතු වෙන්නේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති දිහා බලන්න.
Sri Lanka closes in on 1 million tourists this year just in the first 8 months. We'll come back with details after this break.
ගොඩමට පෙරලි කරන බලපුළුවන් කාරයා මහින්ද්‍රා යුවෝ ටීමෝ වෙතින්. වැඩම ගොඩයි ගොඩම තමයි ස්වරාජ් ට්‍රැක්ටර් ටීමෝ වෙතින්.
Welcome back to the news. We take you to your business segment. Former Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, highlights macroeconomic stress as the main reason for the regression in Sri Lanka's socio-economic indicators during the past 75 years of the country. Addressing a virtual event to launch the policy report, Understanding Multidimensional Vulnerabilities, Impact on People of Sri Lanka, prepared by the United Nations Development Programme, he welcomed efforts taken to address interference on the work of the central bank via the passing of the new Central Bank Act.
At the time of independence, Sri Lanka was second to Japan on most socio-economic indicators. That's in Asia. We've regressed a great deal. I'm not talking about just the last 5, 6 or 10 years. Over a 75-year period, we have regressed. And the main source for this regression has been macroeconomic stress, in my view. And the main cause of that macroeconomic stress has been the government's fiscal operation. And the negative effects of that has been amplified by fiscal dominance in monetary policy. There has been interference in the work of the central bank from time to time. So I am very pleased to see that some of that is, or pretty much all of that is now being rolled back. Fiscal operations are being tightened. This new Central Bank Act gives the central bank greater autonomy. Now, where the public and academia, civil society, everybody else has to play a role is that in the past, nobody has taken an interest in macroeconomic issues except to complain that inflation is too high, to complain that interest rates are too high, to complain that the exchange rate is depreciating. But nobody asks the question, why is this happening? And this is another part of the governance failure. It's not a part of the governance failure only of the politicians, it's the governance failure of the whole country, that nobody takes enough interest in these issues and looks at the root causes and not the symptoms. Inflation, exchange rate depreciation, interest rates, those are all symptoms. All of us should think about what is the cause and exert pressure for those causes to be addressed.
And Sri Lanka has recorded over 900,000 tourist arrivals so far this year. According to statistics released by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, a total of 904,318 tourist arrivals have been reported within the first 8 months of the year. In the month of August alone, a total of 136,405 tourist arrivals were recorded to Sri Lanka. Now, this is also compared to the arrivals in July, where Sri Lanka recorded the highest number of arrivals during a month so far. So back in July, Sri Lanka recorded some 143,039 tourists. While a majority of these tourists are identified as Indian nationals, a high number of British and Chinese nationals were also recorded entering the island. The Ministry of Tourism expects to attract around 2 million tourists by the end of this year. Still in business news, the Ministry of Finance, Public Administration and National Policies has introduced a pledge and a loan policy to be dispersed among the farmer community and mill owners. Now, this pledge loan scheme for small and medium-scale paddy mill owners to purchase paddy for the Yalla season will be effective from the 1st of September. Accordingly, small and medium-scale paddy mill owners with a valid business registration, subject to the maximum daily milling capacity of 25 metric tons of paddy, will be able to obtain loans. Further, the ministry stated that millers are eligible for the loan at the effective interest rate of 16% per annum with a maximum loan amount of 50 million rupees. Out of the effective interest rate, 12% interest rate has to be borne by the respective SME paddy miller and the interest subsidy is 4%. The respective loan should be repaid within 180 days. The Finance Ministry added that the total value of the loan to be disbursed by the People's Bank and the Bank of Ceylon is about 4 billion rupees. This concessionary loan scheme was implemented based on a cabinet decision dated 14th of August 2023 and will be in effect until the 30th of November. Well, hotel and restaurant chain owner Citrus Leisure says the country should focus on delivering upgraded products and services targeting the quality of the quantity of growing tourism traffic in the country. With that, let's take a look at some of our very latest corporate updates in brief.
Tourist hotel and restaurant chain Citrus Leisure said the Sri Lankan tourism sector should be led by experienced professionals who understand tourism and possess a long-term vision for the industry. The chairman of the hotel and resort chain, P.A. Kures, said in the hotel group's annual report for 2022 and 2023 that the country should come up with a distinctive niche by targeting quality over quantity and needs upgrading in products, services and communication. The chairman of Citrus Leisure PLC said tourist traffic has reached 80% of pre-pandemic levels in the first quarter of 2023 and stakeholders should integrate their products with existing infrastructure to make the most of the situation. E-commerce platform Kapruka says it plans to expand its export orientation and generation of foreign currency income to the country. Chairman of Kapruka Dulit Herath said the firm plans to enhance its capital through the public offering of shares and will direct to expand its market share. Herath further said a notable move was made by entering the Amazon market space in the UK and it will further expand going forward to generate more foreign income to Sri Lanka. Global travel management company BCD Travel has opened a new Asia Pacific service centre in Colombo. BCD Travel said the country was chosen as the location of the centre due to the resilience and tenacity demonstrated by the people and ease of conducting business. The centre is expected to be one of its largest operations in the Asia Pacific region by end 2023 with an expanded employee base of 300 by 2024.
Education Minister Susil Premajayanthi today said that the advanced level examination results will be issued next week and scheduled exams for the year will continue without any reforms. The minister said next year the ministry plans to bring the education and exam schedules back to normal, which was disrupted due to the COVID period and the economic crisis during the previous 2 years. He further said that government plans to open a university under the Education Ministry with the approval of the University Grants Commission with the aim of providing Bachelor of Education degree holders to the university system.
උසස් පෙළ විභාගයේ ප්‍රතිඵල දැන් බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් අපි වෙනදාට වඩා කෙටි කාලයක් තුලදී උසස් පෙළ ප්‍රතිඵල දෙනවා ඊළඟ දින 2-3 ඇතුළත ප්‍රතිඵල දෙයි. හැබැයි ඊළඟ උසස් පෙළ විභාගයේ තියෙන දිනත් විභාග දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව ප්‍රකාශනපත් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒක වෙනස් කිරීමේ කිසිම අදහසක් නැහැ. එහෙම වෙනස් කළොත් වෙන්නේ අපි හිතමු උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් මාස දෙකක් කල් දාන්නයි කියනවා කියලා. ඒක මාස දෙකක් ගිය ගමන් දෙසැම්බර් කියන්න බැරි නම් ආයෙ යන්න වෙන්නේ මාර්තු වෙනට. මාර්තු අප්‍රේල් තියන්න තියෙන O level exam එක තියන්න වෙන්නේ තව මාස 3ක් පහුවෙලා. එතකොට ලබන අවුරුද්දේ සිලබස් කව කරන්න ගිහිල්ලා පාසල් වාර සටහනයි විභාග සටහනයි කාල සටහනයි දෙකම කල් ගියොත් ආයෙත් ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දට යනවා ඊළඟ විභාග ටික. හැබැයි අපි සැලසුම් කරලා තියෙන ලබන අවුරුද්දේ මේක යථා තත්ත්වයට ගේන්න. දැන් ඩිප්ලෝමා ධාරීන් බිහි කළා මදි අධ්‍යාපනයේට. තව අවුරුදු 4කට පස්සේ ඩිප්ලෝමා ධාරීන් නෙවෙයි අපේ පන්සලේ පන්ති කාමරේට අපි යවන්නේ. B.Ed උපාධියක් ගත්ත උපාධිධාරීන්. අධ්‍යාපන අමාත්‍යාංශය යටතේ පවතින විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයක් බිහි කරනවා යුනිවර්සිටි ග්‍රාන්ට්ස් කමිෂන් එකේ රෙකග්නිෂන් එකත් එක්ක. අවුරුදු 3ක් ඇකඩමික් අවුරුද්දක් ටීචින් ප්‍රැක්ටිස්. ඒතර වැටුප් ආරම්භය තව වැටුප්තල 6ක් උඩින් පටන් ගන්න. අන්න එදාට තමයි ගුණාත්මක ගුරුවරයෙක් පන්ති කාමරයට යවන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. දැන් ඉන්න සියලු දෙනාට පහසුකම් සපයනවා B.Ed උපාධිය ගන්න.
The 157th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Police was celebrated today with a series of religious ceremonies. With that, here's a look at more news in brief.
The Sri Lanka Police celebrated its 157th anniversary today with a series of religious activities. Accordingly, a Dhamma sermon was organized last night with an alms-giving ceremony took place this morning. Hindu and Islamic ceremonies as well as a holy mass were also organized to mark the Police Day. Meanwhile, Wattala police arrested an individual with 405 grams of the drug ice with a street value of over 6 million rupees during a raid in the Hunupitiya railway station road area. Further investigations into the matter are yet to be executed. In the meantime, an Egyptian who attacked the owner of a resort in Kurunduwatta area of Waligama with a sharp weapon and set fire to the resort was arrested by the Waligama police yesterday. The police said that the suspect had attacked the owner of the resort due to a personal dispute.
And that's it from us here tonight. I'm Indivari Amuatta. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.